Okay, so this is Tristan, and I'm basically going to show you different lengths of her hair. So the breakage points are right at the top of her shoulders. The second breakage point is about mid-shoulders, and then of course you can see the ends are very broken. So it's hard to see the different lengths. I'm going to go ahead and actually section it for you to see where the breakage points are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is about a half an inch to a 1 inch section. And then you will see how short the hair is. See, it only comes down to the top of the chair. If you drop the hair, it comes all the way down to that part. So what I'm trying to point out here is that the underneath of the hair is never cut by the hairdresser because they don't give enough sections. They'll section your hair about generally 3 times. But I section the hair generally about 42 times, cutting it from the back to the front and starting from the front to the back and then left and right sides. And I'm going to use Diamond Crystal Mist to go ahead and moisturize the hair so I don't have to really shampoo her hair or wet her hair. We'll just spray it as we go. So what I'm going to do now is just seal the ends. So then this length will be separate by the rest of the hair. Meaning I need to seal the ends of just this section. Then once that's done, I'm going to drop down another section. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and just blunt the ends. That's all you have to do is just blunt snip the ends. And that's going to seal off the major culprits of splitting. And you don't cut off very much hair. You take off very little hair, but you just want to make sure those ends are sealed. There you go. Okay, so now we've dropped another layer down. We're going to go ahead and moisturize the ends. I always cut the hair wet. There we go. And now you see it's a completely different length, but then these ends need to be sealed also. So again, just section off, get into the center. Then we're going to go ahead and just not very much hair, just take off just the very ends. Yep. And just cut them and blunt snip them. From the center, we go to the right, blend the center and the right together, come down to the ends, cutting off very little. But again, the ends have to be sealed. I like to do this at least once a season. So my clients generally come into me once a season, so we cut off very little hair. And then we can grow it as long as we want. And we're blending in the left side to the middle and to the right. There we go. So and we're going to do different sections all the way up as we go along. Okay, so now I've dropped down and we're in our 6th section at this point. So I've already done 5 sections. Now I'm into the 6th section. You can see the hair is pretty long. But underneath it, we've sealed the ends. Because normally if a hairdresser just starts here, then all the underneath of the hair never gets cut. It just keeps breaking, splitting, and it keeps getting thinner and thinner. So we're probably missing about 20% of Tristan's hair at this point. So at this level, coming down, good. Splitting, cutting off just the very split ends. And again, taking off minimal, not a lot of length. The hair is damp. Scissors, blunt cut, off with the split ends. And continuing to the left until there's no more hair left on this left side to cut. And just keep blending it together. Good. There. Then blending it into the right side. So you can see that this hair is definitely being sealed at this level. Yep. And we're going to go ahead and blend all this together, sealing off the ends again. So you see the hair underneath is thicker, and then you can see the hair I just dropped down, how thin it is. But that's just the next level. Okay, so now I've dropped down to about my 9th level. And you can see the ends are really thin at the very end. And then the hair underneath is thicker now because we've been blunt snip cutting it. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle. Oh, I'm zooming in to show you how thick it is up on the top layers and the bottom layers there, how thin that is. But we're only going to cut off the very, very end to get them blunted. So again, I start in the middle. I will blunt snip that section, then I will blend in the left and the right. Damp. Now watch. Not a lot of hair here. Oh, sorry, I'm in your way. Okay. So we're going to bring in the left side. There we go. And you can see how there's hardly any hair there. But you must be disciplined and cut it. There. Yep. So now we're blending in the left side, which is just a little bit. We're going to blend in more hair to the left side. There we go. And blunt, blunt, blunt. We're not exactly cutting it straight across. We always cut at an angle a little bit down. So in other words, I'm going to the left side. I'm going a little bit lower and lower as I get more to the left. And then I come back to the middle. Then again on the right, I come a little bit more down. So I'm getting lower and lower on the right side. So I'm blending it all together. But this is my first haircut with Tristan. So it's a lot of breakage all over. So this is called the blending. So I'm blending all of the underneath with the center. Then I'll blend in the left side and the right side, and I will blend in the top. So now there's no more hair left on the left to go to the bottom. So now I'm going to cut this individually like a separate head of hair. So now I'm just sectioning off the left side. You can see, again, just cutting off maybe 1/4 of an inch. But there's no hair, it's not going to reach the very bottom. So I can just section off the left side and cut it off as a separate head of hair. And that's as much hair as I cut off, hardly any at all. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend in the right side. So the bottom is all going to be even. Okay, so again, now the whole back is done. And there's not enough hair on the right side to come down to the bottom. So again, I'm taking it into sections off to the right and just cutting off like 1/4 of an inch, maximum 1/2 an inch. So then the ends are being sealed. So the objective here, obviously, is just to seal the ends and as much as possible going from the underneath, going to the top layers, going to the left, going to the right. And then I'll do the front separate again. So that'll be a whole separate shaping. So now we've sectioned it off at least 25 times. So there's about 25 sections here. Now you can see the back is pretty blunt. So I'm going to bring the very top layer down, which is about 1/3 of the head. Yeah, I'm going to bring all the hair down, and you're going to see that it's not going to reach the end. See, voila, it all comes down, and there's really no hair to cut. So, but you don't want to completely ignore the whole top layer, which is about 1/3 of one's head, because that's an enormous amount of hair, and we're missing about 1/3 of the thickness on the top, and about 20% on the bottom. See, there's hardly any hair to cut here. That's 1/3 of the top of the head, which is an enormous amount of hair. So there's hardly any hair left there at all. So I'm just going to go ahead while it's there and blunt snip cut, which you see hardly anything at all. Okay, so now we're finishing off the very back, and see how thick it is? So now we're down about 32 sections, and I blended in the center. Now I'm doing the left and the right, but you'll notice the back, how thick it is from where it was originally. So we're taking off about 1 inch on this first cut. And then the end, which was about another inch, was so broken it doesn't even matter. So you wouldn't even know it was gone. So the length is going to be pretty much where it was, but now we're going to do about 42 sections. And you'll see that it'll blend all together to get as thick as possible. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start from the front. And we're going to start sectioning the front off like we did to the back. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it forward and then cut it, blunt snip cut, not a lot of hair, as you will see from the sections that's going to happen to it. You can see that Tristan really has some natural waves in the front. So her hair is not really straight if you just push it there. But you see the big S curls? So the blunt snip hair cutting is going to get those S curls to be exaggeratedly big. So the hair is going to get wavier and wavier as we continue doing the blunt snip hair cutting. Of course, this is the only first time the front's not even cut yet. But you will see from the inside where the ear is. That's why I don't cut bangs, because if you cut bangs, it takes out, about half of your wave pattern, which is not good, because the whole wave pattern is in the front of the face, and then the colics, and then the swirls, and probably your different parts add all into the wave pattern. So if somebody cuts bangs or chops up the front, you now lost 50% or more of your wave pattern. And now I'm in the front, and now I'm going to go ahead and blunt snip the front just like I did to the back. And again, if you took all this hair and brought it back, it would never touch the back of her head. So this never gets cut. Again, it just keeps splitting. So I always start in the center, and then I go from the center, I blend into the left, and then I go ahead and blend into the right. But then this hair, after I've cut it around 3 or 5 times, the front will start growing into the length of the back, the left and sides will start growing into the back. So about a year after cutting this once a season for like 3-5 seasons, then we'll start having a really good length, and Tristan's hair will actually triple volume from where we are today. Okay, so now we've cut out about 5 sections in the front, and now there's no hair to come down. So what I'm doing is I'm holding it out perpendicular to where it grows. So I take it straight out, not up, not down, not left or right, but just straight out, and I'm just, again, sealing off the ends. This is a whole nother technique of blending. So from here, I'm going to take it straight up from where it grows. Good, and then just snip off, like again, 1/4 inch of hair. And the whole objective here is to constantly seal off all these split ends, all these broken ends of hair. There's not enough. You never can get to it all the first couple of shapings, but in the beginning you try to get as much as possible. So now I'm going to hold it straight up, straight from the direction from where it grows. And again, just blunt snip on ending so the hair gets thicker and thicker. Okay, so now we are basically finished with shaping the hair. And I want to go ahead and show you how strong these S curls are. But unfortunately, for some reason, it's very dark all of a sudden with this. What I'm explaining here is Tristan's hair is now starting to wave, and the S curls are getting really strong from her hairline, especially on the sides of her ears, and then of course the top. So the wave pattern is going to get stronger and stronger, and that's where I get my design from. Every individual comes out completely different because of the colics, the wave patterns, the different parts of the hair.